going on, everyone? In today's episode, we're going to be answering one of the most popular questions that you all ask us about corn, and that's which one of our corns makes the best popcorn? And since we didn't know the answer to that, we're going to find out together. We're going to take every single one of our varieties of heirloom corn, pop them to try to find out which one makes the best popcorn. So let's go. All right, so today we're going to be popping the Golden Bantam, Miniature Blue, Japanese Holus Baby Corn, Ambrosia, Oaxacan Green Dent, Bodacious Sweet, Stowell's Evergreen, Bloody Butcher, Silver Queen, Blue Hoppy, Indian Corn, Glass Gem, Earth Tones Dent, Double Red Sweet Corn, Red Strawberry Popcorn, and Mini Pink Popcorn. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna keep things really standard here. Essentially, all we're gonna do is put them on a plate and we're gonna pop them until either they burn or they pop. Some might take only 2 minutes, some might take 4 minutes. That's why I'm not really setting a time limit for this. They're gonna pop when they pop or they're gonna burn if they don't pop. And we're gonna put a little bit of oil on a plate so give them something to kind of fry in. That's how they pop the best. And that kind of also helps them just kind of give a better texture if they do pop. And then we're gonna put them on a table and we're gonna compare them all and taste them. So I'm really excited. Let's get popping. Well, 30 minutes later, we have results. And I gotta say, pretty interesting results at that. Let's go through them. So when it comes to corn varieties, there are 4 main corn varieties you're going to come in contact with. There are sweet corns, popcorns, dent corns, and flint corns. Now, a lot of people consider there to be a 5th variety called ornamental. However, ornamental corns are generally just lumped into flint corn, as those are varieties that are typically used for grinding or milling into corn flour or cornmeal. You have popcorns, which obviously, as the name implies, are typically going to be popped. They can be eaten fresh, but because when they dry, they retain a much more higher moisture content, allowing them to pop. That's what's really important. They also have a pretty low starch content, meaning that they pop really easily and they can actually have a lot of volume when they do pop. Those are typically the ones that are popcorns. And then you have sweet corn, which is a very high moisture content, but a really high starch content. And that leads you to eat it when it's a little more fresh, because the older it gets, the more starch there is, and they don't pop quite as well, if at all, in some cases. All right, so first we're gonna try the glass gem corn. Now, I was pretty surprised. I did know obviously that corn could pop, but typically when you're looking at like an ornamental corn, you're not typically gonna be thinking about popping it. The one thing that I noticed was kind of a bummer was that when the corn is actually popped, the color completely goes away. So there's not really any magic or color to it at all, but let's give it a shot. It's okay, it's just a really generic popcorn. There's quite a few kernels that didn't pop. So in terms of its like poppability, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. Flavor-wise, nothing to write home about. There is no salt on any of these. We just used just a basic sprayable oil. I mean, flavor-wise, it's probably like a 4 out of 10. Next is the Indian corn. Now, Indian corn also, this is going to be a flint corn. Didn't really pop incredibly well. Popped a little bit less than the glass gem, but flavor-wise, let's see how it tastes. I give poppability like a 2.5 out of 10. Grab one here that's good. That's a decent pop. Some hard spots. Oh man. Flavor would be like a 1 out of 10. Not super great. All right, up next is the Golden Bantam. Now, you'll notice something really interesting about this one. No pops. They inflated like they wanted to pop, but they kind of just, I don't know, they didn't really do a whole lot of anything. But we're gonna give it a shot. Poppability, I would give I can't give it a 0. I mean, can I give it like a 0.5? They got bigger. They aren't like, those are not good for your teeth. It cannot be good. Hear me out here. If you've ever had corn nuts, it's like pretty, in my opinion, pretty crappy bar snacks. But flavor, okay, poppability, 0.5 out of 10. They're horrible. Like in the center, total scorched earth. That's partly because Golden Bantam is a sweet corn and there's a lot of sugar content, which absolutely is what caused it to caramelize and burn. But I mean, like flavor, if you can get through, the texture is like caution, you might chip a tooth. But like legitimately, if you can get through the texture, the flavor is there. I would totally give this, honestly, and it's a little sweet as well. I would personally give this like a 5.5 out of 10. All right, up next is the Earth Tones Dent Corn. So you're seeing a little bit of kind of a theme now where we got some pops. They definitely popped, but they more or less just really expanded and folded. So I'm gonna find the best popped one here. I'd say poppability, I'd give it like a 1.5 out of 10. Flavor, wow, that's really surprising. It kind of has that like corn nut flavor that you get. Really good. Like if it had salt, obviously it'd be so much better. But like flavor wise, you get dent corns are very low moisture, very high starch. So you get, it's a little grainy. It is a little grainy, but honestly, flavor wise, I'm not judging it based on texture because that'd be a whole different category. I'd give flavor, which kind of encompasses texture a little bit, I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 10. Up next is the Blue Hoppy. Now this is a flint corn. Flint corns have a high starch, high moisture. That's what allows them to stay nice and rounded rather than get that dent in them. That's the big difference between dent and flint corns. Now, these kind of popped, but they more or less kind of expanded. So poppability, I'd give it like a 0.8, 0.8 out of 10. You had some that were enough to kind of expand, but only like one out of the bunch. The rest have kind of just expanded in size, giving the corn nut shape. Okay, poppability is really low. The best flavor by far though. They're really dry. It's almost like a saltine cracker challenge. Like you couldn't eat more than five of these at the same time. Oh man, they really dry your mouth out. Flavor's really good though. Man, I don't know. Huge demerits. It's like you have like a bowl of cornstarch and you just like put some in your mouth. I don't know. It's like a 1 out of 10 for me. It's really good flavor, but the texture is absolutely horrible. Okay, now we're here with the miniature blue popcorn. And I gotta say, I'm actually really relieved to see this. This is an actual popcorn. So inevitably you're gonna have a much better pop to it. High moisture, low starch, really nice, tiny little dainty pops. It's really cute. Poppability, it's like a 9 out of 10. There are some unpopped kernels, a little more than normal, but like, I mean, the flavor is insane. It's so good. Honestly, I'd give it poppability, 9 out of 10. Flavor, it's like an 8 out of 10. Really good. All right, up next, we got the double red sweet corn. Now, again, you kind of have a common theme here with the sweet corns. If you're not noticing, you do get a little bit of that scorched earth. That's because it just, the caramelization happens and the moisture content is kind of low in these dry kernels, so they just don't pop very well. But nevertheless, let's see, I mean, wow, the crunch on that is mad. That is crazy. Hear me out. Okay, poppability, like a 0.5. Flavor though, kind of like it. Whoa, why are these so good? Stop. Up next is the Silver Queen. Again, this is a sweet corn variety. So you kind of understand the theme here. Like for sure you got some burntness going on. If you could somehow, like this was just on a paper plate with some sprayable oil in a microwave. If you could somehow control the temperature a little bit better and pop it a little more like, I guess evenly, I think you really could have something on your hands here with these sweet corn varieties because they just expand. They get kind of puffed. This one, poppability, again, I think this is probably the least poppable of them all because a lot just burnt. I'd say like 0.1 out of 10. It's as close to 0 as you can get. Flavor, it's got that crazy crunch though. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, this is nuts. Again, flavor, if this was salted or had a little sugar on it, or like a chili lime powder, oh, like a 9 out of 10. That is crazy, so good. I don't even want to know how many carcinogens I'm ingesting right now because I'm eating a lot of burnt food, but we press on. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, especially because I'm sure by the time I'm 80, this is gonna be catching up to me. Yeah, wow. Definitely a little bitter on the popcorns that have burnt a little bit, but it's been so interesting to see the textures that have come out of them because we always see popcorn as like this. This is popcorn, and this is actually the wildest revelation of them all. This is the Japanese hull-less popcorn or the baby popcorn or the baby corn. It's a lot of times what people see as those tiny little corns in like stir fries. Well, the Japanese hull-less corn makes a wild popcorn. I mean, this was the same amount of corn as all the rest in terms of like the amount that we put onto the plate. And we're talking full plate full here. Poppability's a 10 out of 10. Flavor-wise, it's a little muted compared to the other ones we've tried. Flavor-wise, it's just a little starchy, but I mean, if you're looking for popcorn, you can't go wrong. It's like a 7 out of 10 for flavor, but wow, really surprised by this. Up next is the red strawberry popcorn. This again, this is really crazy. There's quite a few unpopped kernels in here. Could have been resolved by leaving it in a little longer. I just didn't want it to burn. But super dainty little pops. Poppability, it's like a 9 out of 10. Flavor, it's nuts. It's like the tiniest little popcorns. Flavor's awesome. Actually, really like this. Edibility, texture, the fact that I think everyone could get behind this. I would say this is probably like, this is like a 9.5 out of 10. This is awesome. Okay, moving on here to the Bloody Butcher. Now the Bloody Butcher is a flint corn. So you get that kind of half popped kind of clam shell or like oyster shell shape. Really starchy. I'm expecting a really dry inside, but we'll give it a shot. Poppability, I mean, again, it's like maybe like a 0.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's got that real dry, almost like just cornstarch interior. Ugh. It's like a 2 out of 10. Not really great. All right, up next we have the Ambrosia sweet corn. Now, obviously, sweet corn varieties, we're coming to really learn how these things pop or react in the microwave, I should say, because they don't really pop, they more or less puff. But they do have a little bit of that caramelization center. If you would control that, what we have found is that the flavor is there and the texture is there. But poppability, I mean, I give it like a 0.5 out of 10. It's not very poppable. It still has that really great super crunch to it. And this is so sweet because it's the Ambrosia sweet corn. It's a hybrid sweet corn. If you, oh, yeah, this is crazy, really sweet. If you put this in a bowl, these would be gone. I think personally, flavor-wise, poppability might be really low because they don't pop, but flavor, it's like an 8 out of 10. It's really solid. All right, so we're down to the final 4 here, and we are going to start with the mini pink popcorn. Now, mini pink is, by most people's standards, their favorite variety of heirloom popcorn. For good reason, it has really good volume when it pops. Not as good as the Japanese Holus, but obviously, if you don't know about the Japanese Holus, I can see why this would be your favorite heirloom. It really pops pretty well. It's got a nice explosive pop to it. Hardly any kernels left that were left unpopped. So poppability, I'd give it like a 10 out of 10. It's totally fine. Flavor-wise, let's see. Oh yeah, I mean flavor-wise, it's a 10 out of 10. You really can't go wrong. It has such a really amazing popcorn flavor. It did kind of burn just a tad bit, so obviously it might just not need as much time. Really hard to tell. They all popped at different times. It was crazy. Some popped as soon as like a minute 20 in the microwave. Some took almost 3 minutes to start popping. Really just depends. Up next is the Oaxacan green dent. This is again a dent corn, so it's very starchy. I can tell you it's going to be dry. I'm correct. It is very dry. Poppability, more than I would normally see from a dent corn. I'll give it like a 2 out of 10. Flavor-wise though, the dryness is just horrible. If you love saltine crackers and love having your mouth dry as a desert, this would be for you, but not for me. It's like a 1 out of 10. Up next here, this one has really piqued my interest. This is the Stowell's Evergreen. It's actually a sweet corn variety. So you get that really nice puff to it, and it's a little on the hard side though. Poppability would be a 0.1 out of 10. Can't be a 0 because it did get larger than it started, but yeah, I'm not eating that. That's like a 0.1 out of 10 for flavor as well. These did nothing. So don't do that one. I don't want to break a tooth. All right, and finally we have Bodacious. Now Bodacious is a sweet corn variety. It's a super sweet variety of sweet corn, so it is a hybrid sweet corn, much like your Ambrosia or your peaches and cream. It's gonna be really sweet, but that's why some of these kernels burnt again, which is, I'll be honest, the burnt popcorn is definitely giving me a little bit of a headache. So let's see how they did. It's got that really signature kind of crispy interior, but not as much as the others. Still, crunch is just unreal. Really good crunch. And it's not like a hard crunch like I'm gonna chip my tooth. You legitimately hardly have to even try. So that being said, poppability, I'd give it like a 1 out of 10. They got larger than they started. They didn't pop though. Flavor-wise, they're really sweet. Really, really sweet. Probably like a 7 out of 10. Again, if you can consistently reduce that burning, have a little more consistent cook to it, I think it'd be awesome. What did we learn? Well, we learned that if you want popcorn, you should probably stick with a popcorn. However, if you want like a puffed corn, go with a sweet corn. Sweet corn will puff and will not pop. That was a revelation to me. Other thing that I learned, just keep flint corns and dent corns for like turning into cornmeal or grinding Like, they're not good popcorns at all. And the final thing that we learned is that there are so many unique and really cool varieties of popcorn out there that are just so much more than just your standard yellow popcorn you're going to get that is grown on a monoculture, sprayed with tons of pesticides. There are really unique heirloom varieties that you can be growing, and you can grow in your home garden. And when you grow them, it gives you the ability to know what you fertilize them with and what you sprayed on them. And it's just the closest thing to homegrown as you can get, because it legitimately came from your home garden. And so depending on your flavor preferences, textural preferences, there's a lot of options to go with. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I learned a ton, and I'll be honest, thumbs up for the Japanese hull-less corn. That was insane. Really did not see that one coming. Very excited about that. And oh my gosh, I've got a headache from all this burnt popcorn, but what I wouldn't do for you guys. So please like this video if you did enjoy. Let me know what you learned in the comments box down below, and share this video with a friend if you think they would enjoy it, because I'm sure they probably will. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.